classes of the year. And I'll tell you why. Because when you leave here, if something were to ever happen, you're at least going to have some idea of what you might need to do. The other reason is, I think this is probably going to be the best safety class that PCAR has brought forth. Tom Costello and I have been friends for literally nearly 25 years. And Lori Osborne with Damsels in Defense is my neighbor, and she knows what she's talking about. And she might look like a little tiny, sweet little thing, but don't let that fool you. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring Tom up because I know he'll introduce himself, he'll tell you all about it, and we're just gonna get started because I don't wanna go over today. So Tom Costello, please come up. Give him a hand.
Hello. PCAR, I am excited that you're all here. How many of you ever dealt with anything even remotely scary regarding self-defense? Anyone? Wow. Okay, so a personal story. I was in a Tony Robbins event. There were 6,000 people. It was his Date with Destiny event, if you're familiar with that. It's a 7-day event, and one of them is regarding relationships. And he asked the men a very important question. He said, how many men in the audience have been in fear for their own personal safety? Out of 6,000, how many do you think raised their hands? A few, about 5. Out of 6,000. And those men had been physically attacked. They had been mugged. They had had a traumatic experience. The rest, and then they asked the same thing of women. How many women? And by the way, there were, out of the 6,000, 4,000 women, 2,000 men. Out of the same question of the women, how many of you women have had a fear for your life or your personal safety? Just curious how many of you. How many do you think raised their hands? All except 2, and those 2 look like they could beat up all the men. So personal safety is an important part of our lives. It's an important part of what we do. It's of the reality of the world in which we live. So just a little bit about me, and then we're going to get right into it. Some of you may think, what credentials do I have to be doing this? Number one, I have just a passion for this because I have a protective nature. If you saw the movie The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock, she plays a mom of a football player, and it's a great scene where she says, did you read his bio? And she says, if you had, you'd know he had a very high protective nature. You're either protector or you don't. You either look out for people and you look for the wolves, or you don't. Or you just do. So, I'm a 30-year martial arts practitioner. I'm a brown belt in Krav Maga. If you're not familiar with Krav Maga, it's a very violent fighting style. It's not a sport, it's a fighting style. Every martial art, jiu-jitsu, kempo, karate, all has a sport version and a street version. Sport is for tournaments and fun and all that stuff. Street is for, obviously, the street. There's no sport version of Krav Maga. It's all street. Groin face, eyes, throat, pressure points, etc., etc. I'm a firearms instructor, national speaker, and trainer. For those of you who are or were with KW, Gary Keller wrote a book called The One Thing, one of my favorite books. It's about focus and doing what's most important in life. I'm a One Thing certified trainer for that. I was a finisher in Grant Cardone's Great American Speak Off on season 2. If you're not familiar with that, it doesn't really matter. And I'm a host and creator of the $1 Million Minute and Tom on the Town. And I just left my remote down here. So, watch the video. Robin, can you turn the video up, please?
Member safety is a matter of your life or your death.
I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be in a situation to where I would have a 9mm held to my head.
It was a day like any other when James Olson, an agent with more than 35 years' experience, set out to meet a blind lead at a vacant property. Something he had done countless times before.
I was actually with my wife on the way to an appointment. I had never met this person, and she was sitting on the front porch waiting for me, and I just told my wife to wait in the car. We walked through the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen. now been in this property a number of times, and it just seemed odd to me that all the doors were closed. So I went to grab the bedroom door, and out came a masked gunman holding a 9mm to my head. He was all dressed in black like a ninja. He had a hoodie on, sunglasses, face mask, black gloves, black everything. Within a couple seconds, another guy dressed the same held a 9mm up against the side of my head. I had my hands up in the air, and he said, "Get down to the floor." So I took his gun, and he hit me in the back of the head. I went falling to my knees. Blood was flowing in my eyes. They're asking me where the money is, and I told them I didn't have any, so they rifled my pockets and pulled my pants down and socks and shoes off, and they wound up making away with my wedding ring, my wallet, and my iPhone. And he came back to me and said, "Give us 10 minutes or we're coming back here and killing you. These guys are out there, and if they attack me, more than likely they're gonna be going after somebody else." This was a predatory assault. They didn't just randomly pick me, they stalked me.
Jim Olson was surveilled and targeted based on his job as collecting rents as a property manager. They knew what date to lure him into the property that was vacant so he could be robbed at gunpoint. Studies have shown that agent male victims were attacked 30% of the time. And we know with Jim Olson, and he's a big burly man, infantry soldier, never was in fear that something could happen, and he was a victim of a violent robbery. And now, listen to his story, he changes the way he does business. He arrives at a home much earlier than the appointment time and does a circumference of the house to see if there's anything out of place or if there's any broken windows or forced entry.
Kitty Wallace, a managing broker with almost 20 years' experience, has faced off with numerous predators.
One of my most recent experiences was from a gentleman who wanted to see a home. I have a practice that I have them meet me at the office for the first time. This particular gentleman didn't want to meet me at the office, so that did put a red flag up for me.
Working in a rural area with limited cell phone reception, Kitty remained steadfast in her safety protocols, but the caller had a plan of his own.
He was very insistent, and it was, "Can you meet me there in an hour?" And I said, "No, unfortunately, I can schedule an appointment with you. We can sit down and see what your needs are." No, I want to see this house." And he said, "Okay, then meet me in 2 hours." He just kind of kept moving the time frame for me. And when that escalated and he wouldn't meet me, he ended up calling my office. He was swearing at me, saying that, "That's my job. I need to meet him here. What is my seller going to do when he finds out I won't show him this property, etc." And I just didn't let myself get bullied. I really stood my ground and didn't meet with him at all. I've always kind of just accepted it's part of the job, and that's really not okay. So I reported it to my local association, and they sent an email blast to all the agents. 2 other agents reached out to me, and they had also been approached by this gentleman. Maybe I prevented something bad happening not only to myself, but maybe somebody else as well. I do believe that the intent of some clients is not to buy a house. The intent is to see what they could do if they got me a loan.
Jim and Kitty's harrowing stories display the 2 types of predatory motives: profit and power and control.
There is a misconception that crimes against agents are random opportunistic street crime, and in fact, they're of predatory nature. And by understanding predatory behavior and learning that you can remove weakness, subservience, and vulnerability out of your daily practice, you'll be able to keep yourself safe.
I think realtor safety is one of the most important things that any realtor can learn about.
The goal of the Realtor Safety Program is to reduce the number of incidents in our industry, so this way you can come home to your family every night. You deserve it, and they deserve it.
I think having these protocols in place is definitely the key to saving my life. 99.9% of the time, our job is amazing. It's that 0.01% that's not worth my life.
Okay, how many of you have ever had an incident like that on the job as a realtor? Good. It's great to know. You would think that being realtors, we're the nicest people on the planet. Who would want to hurt you, right? How many of you know that predators don't care? Predators don't see you as a person. They don't see you as a mom or a husband or a wife or a son or a daughter. They see you as a resource. You have money, you have car keys, you have something they want. That's what they're after. How many of you caught any tips from what she said, Kitty, the second woman? When he called her office and he kept changing the time, and every time she resisted or changed, what did he do? Say that again? He got angry, exactly. He attacked. Predators will always make you wrong when you don't go by their plan. Okay, and that's a tip also for your listing appointment and your buyer's appointment. When you're either the favorite or the fool, they either want to do business with you or they don't. And if they're constantly making you wrong, that's a real clue that this is not a good fit. This is not the right person. And I say that only because that can be a clue to further tension to come, further escalation, further crisis or conflict. Make sense? Okay, so our objective today, we're going to go through quite a bit, so I want to get right to it. First of all, we're going to talk about tactical awareness. It is mindset, it is tactics, and it is technique. The mindset is the mindset that you come into the fight with or the situation with. The tactics is how you go about what you do, like positioning yourself in a common area, making people sign in, getting ID before you go on a showing, as well as proof of funds, pre-qualification, and now the buyer-broker agreement. We're going to talk more about that. The technique is the techniques that you have, the self-defense skills. If you carry any kind of weapon at all, do you know how to use it? How many of you know that if you carry a weapon and you don't know how to use it, it's basically worthless? In fact, it's more dangerous. Why?
It could be used on you.
Exactly. A weapon that you don't know how to use can be taken by the bad guy and used on you. Next is forewarned is forearmed, your most powerful weapon. As a martial arts practitioner and firearms instructor, what would you guess that I would say would be the most powerful weapon? Hands? Anyone else? Feet? Anyone else? Awareness? Okay, you're really close. Really close.
High heels.
Yes, exactly. You guys are so close. It's this right here. It's your mind. Awareness is, you have to have a mindset of awareness. The ability to see things coming is forewarned is forearmed. If you can see something coming, you're prepared for it. If you can't, you're ambushed. And that's the worst situation to be in. We'll talk about that as well. The 4 levels of situational awareness, going from completely clueless to completely ready. There's 4 steps to do that. What a violent criminal looks like. How many of you know what a violent criminal looks like?
There is no.
You guys reading my notes? That's true. Violent criminals come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, and you'll see that as well. We're going to study some case studies on violent crimes, how to vet and qualify a client better. How many would like to know what to do that? The signs to look for when you're meeting a new client. Most of you already know because you're smart and you're trained, yet there's some things to look for regarding tactical safety and tactical awareness that we'll cover that are important. Open houses and showings, those are especially important. Why? Because you're not in your office, you're out in the public square. And that's where the danger is. Finally, winning the war if the fight is lost, weapons of opportunity, and then a mindset of never quit. Weapons of opportunity we're going to cover as well. There's going to be a woman, Lori, speaking after me. Where is she? She's somewhere right here. Oh, there she is. Hi, Lori. She's going to be talking about weapons to use. I'm going to give you the how and the why. She's going to give you the what, which are additional weapons that you can carry on your person to make you more safe at an open house and a showing. So, what is tactical awareness? It is literally being aware of your situations around time. You said awareness. What's your name? Susan, how did you know that? Did you just pull that out of your comic book, or do you have any experience in that?
I'm having experience with this right now. So.
Okay, great. So it's absolutely right. Recognizing potential risks before they occur is the key to being safe. Having multiple escape routes when you're at an open house or a showing, even when you go into a restaurant. How many of you do not sit with your back to the door? Okay, you're my people. I cannot sit with my back to the door in a restaurant or any place. I just gotta be facing the door just in case, because I want to be able to see what happens the moment it starts to happen. How many of you also know when in that video she said she's felt something was off? Her spidey senses were off. Women, do you not have a sixth sense about when something's off? How many times have you ignored that and wished that you hadn't? How many times have you not ignored that and we're glad that you did? More times than not, there's a book called The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker, and in it he talks about most people know when something's going to happen. You just have a sense of it. However, we are conditioned through politeness and social programming, and just, especially we're all in sales, right? We talk about this all the time. There's the roses and the thorns, right? The roses of life and the thorns of life. This topic is kind of the thorns of life, because with anything in life, you got the roses, but you've also got the not so fun stuff. If you ignore the roses in a rose bush, can it hurt you? Absolutely. It not only can, it more than likely will. So this is the thorns that we're talking about. However, we want to talk about the thorns so we can get to the roses. As realtors and salespeople, what do we want to talk about? Roses or thorns? Roses. Of course. We're all like, hey, life's good, life's positive, awesome. Come sign with me, list with me, buy with me, right? And then they end up knocking you over the head because you didn't see the signs. Trust your spidey senses. When you sense something's wrong, don't ignore it. Do what it takes. Remove yourself. Have a plan in place. Call somebody. Ask to be excused for a second, and then excuse yourself, like jump in your car and leave. Never sacrifice safety for politeness. That's basically it. Don't be distracted. How many of you ever seen someone so on their phone they are clueless to what's going on around them? How many of you have ever been that person? You don't have to raise your hand. That's especially true when you're in the public square. If you're out in public, pay attention. Doesn't mean you can't text or return a call or an email. Just glance up every hour, every couple of minutes. Glance up. How many? This is the biggest cardinal sin. How many of you sit in a parking lot and do that on your phone? Please don't do that. I beg of you, please stop doing that. That is so dangerous. Predators look for people, especially women, on their phone, not paying attention. Why? Because more than likely, your car is probably not locked, is it? Even at a gas station, your car is not locked. You are a sitting duck, literally and figuratively. Please stop doing that. I get on my family and my sisters all the time for that because it's dangerous. Get in your car and leave. Go somewhere else. Go to a lighted place. Go to your office. Even at your office, you can still be abducted. You just want to be at a place where you're not vulnerable. Forewarned is forearmed. I'm going to say that a lot. How many of you read the book Sun Tzu, The Art of War? Great book. Okay, so in the book he says that all war is deception, and we're going to talk about that a lot because predators prey on the fact that you are, what we just talked about, not paying attention, that you are, that you're clueless, that you are deer in the headlights. We'll talk about more of that in the four levels of situational awareness. Anticipation versus an ambush. The best situation you can be in anything is something that you anticipate. The worst is something that you're not. That's called an ambush. There's a phrase about that. The watchman on the wall. I'm on the security team at my church. And when I first started, I asked the director, I said, what makes a good security person? Is it, fitness? Is it martial arts training? Is it you're armed? CCW, that you martial, everything, I thought. And I really wanted to hear his response. He said the most important aspect is awareness. He said, because we have about a third of the security people are law enforcement or military, so they all carry and they're trained. Another third is non-military law enforcement, but they're armed. And another third are neither. And you might think, what good are they? What good are they? They have eyes, and they have ears, and they can get on the radio and say, we need help right here, right now. The biggest benefit that Paul Revere did on his midnight ride through the colonials yelling the British are coming was he yanked the colonials out of sleep into awareness. And that little degree of warning, even if it's just a couple seconds to a couple minutes to an hour to prepare, yanks you mentally and emotionally out of being completely clueless to ready. And that, my friends, will prevent PTSD. We're going to talk about more of that in a second. Action is quicker than reaction, as I just said. If I'm sneaking around the corner, how many of you play with your kids hide and seek, or you sneak up and scare them, right? We all like to do that when we're kids because it's fun. It's not so fun when it happens in real life, especially when there's serious consequences. If I'm going to clobber JJ and he doesn't know it, my action is going to be quicker than his reaction, right? I know I'm going to do something to him, but he doesn't. So he is about to get ambushed. JJ, I wouldn't do that to you. I love you, brother. However, if I did that, if I clocked JJ, he would just have to spin around and go, what the heck just happened, right? Just like that. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. David's action was quicker than JJ's reaction. For those of you who didn't see that, David just punched JJ in the arm. So now JJ has to respond like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And by the time he figures it out, David has hit him 3 or 4 times. And now he's really spinning, right? So that's why forearmed is so important. The result of an ambush is that PTSD sets in. For those of you who are not familiar with it, I know you've all heard the term, but it literally means uncontrollable fear, horror, or helplessness. A feeling of absolute fear, horror, or helplessness. Now, none of us like to think that because that's not positive, it's not visualization, it's not all the good things, it's not all your affirmations that you go through every morning. I hope you do, because I do. Yet, it's a real thing. We lost more military members in every conflict. Vietnam, World War I, World War II, Korea, Afghanistan, Iraq. We lose more every conflict to PTSD than we do to physical injuries. And you might think, what's the big deal, dude? Just get over it. I encourage you to educate yourself on PTSD. And you don't have to be in a military conflict to have PTSD. You can have it emotionally, and it's an absolute nuclear bomb to your emotions, to your soul, to your mind. It's horrible. And the net result of that is that you can't sleep. You have nightmares of whatever happened to you, especially rape victims or violent attack victims deal with this constantly. It's horrible. So my goal is to prepare you, to empower you, to give you the ability to see things before they happen, to avoid PTSD and anything related to it. Next, pray, pray, pray. I don't know how many of you do that, but if you don't, I suggest you do. I do every day, and there's a verse in ancient wisdom that said, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman wakes up, but in vain. You can rely on whatever you want to, but for me, except God protects me, I'm done. I know someday my life is going to be done, and it'll be my last day. And when that happens, it happens. However, between now and then, I want to have a good life. I want to live safely, strongly, and I want to empower other people to do the same. Lastly, there's no guarantee of success, just the best chance of success. In the book, Never Split the Difference, Negotiate Like Your Life Depends on It. How many of you guys have heard that book? Highly recommend it. A guy named Chris Voss wrote it.
I listened to it on tape, it's great.
It's amazing. He says in there, he's a former FBI lead hostage negotiator. Now, we negotiate for, requests for repairs, kitchen sinks, 5,000 here, 5,000 there. This guy negotiates for arms, legs, and fingers and lives, right? So it's not like, all right, bro, look, you got 4 hostages. Why don't you keep 2, give me 2, we'll call it a day. No, he can't do that. He's got to negotiate for real. It is negotiation on steroids. He says all the tools and tactics that he uses, none of it guarantees success. And you guys know this already in life. In your listing presentation, in an escrow, you can do everything right, and what can happen? The wheels still fall off the bus, right? At no fault of yours. That's not because you did something wrong, it's because it's life. In a hostage or armed conflict situation, there's no guarantee that everything's gonna work out right. Chris Voss refers to a phenomenon called suicide by cop. Guys ever heard of that? It's a real thing. Well, before it happened the first time, guess what? No one had heard of it because it had never happened. It's what they call a black swan. Until some guy decided that he wanted to die no matter what, he just didn't have the guts to do it himself. So he robbed a bank, killed some hostages, and then pressed himself against the glass window so the sniper could take him out. Those are people who are predetermined that conflict is a foregone conclusion, and there's nothing you're going to do to change that. Thankfully, you haven't seen any of that. Hopefully, none of you have seen that in real life. However, you may have seen it in dealing with a client. On a smaller scale, someone who's just determined to be grumpy. They're just determined to be miserable, and they're determined to make you miserable with it. How many of you ever had that kind of client? If you do, I'd encourage you just to cut ties and leave, because it's never going to go well. And even if you close escrow and get paid, the price to your soul is not going to be worth it. Better to leave them and go get a better client. My point in saying that is this. In all of these tactics and things I'm going to share today, there's no guarantee that it's going to work out. There's not, because there's no guarantees in life. It just guarantees the best chance of success. And that's what we're after. Okay, 4 levels of situational awareness. Condition white. How many of you have heard of this before? Okay, you have, great. So condition white is where you are just relaxed, unaware, unprepared, basically deer in the headlights. You are scrolling Instagram, you are checking email, you are, social media, whatever. It's not a bad thing to do because we all do it. Just whenever you do it, make sure you're in a safe place. Make sure you're at home or in your office or around other people that you know, like, and trust. Or while you're at an office meeting and it's boring. I know you guys never do that. It's the lowest chance of survival and the greatest chance for PTSD because you are in an ambush. You are JJ not paying attention when David hits him. Okay, that's where you don't want to be. What we want to be in is the next condition yellow, which is relaxed yet alert. You're aware of your surroundings, you're aware of people and possible dangers and escape routes. When you walk into a restaurant for the first time, just look around. Just look around and see who's there, see what possible escape routes are available. If there's only one entrance or exit, that's kind of a bummer. But just pay attention, just acknowledge it, just know what's around you. It is a higher chance of survival and a lower chance of PTSD. Now, keep in mind, I want to make a quick distinction. PTSD may happen if there's a conflict, but it won't happen because you're unaware. Does that make sense? You won't be ambushed. You can see it. You can still get PTSD from if someone's coming and you see it, but it won't be because you were caught off guard. Does that make sense? Next is orange. It's a heightened state of awareness. Intentionally notice everything around you. You realize that something isn't right. You're just not sure what it is yet. How many of you ever had that situation? Where the hair on the back of your neck stood up and you're like, okay, there's something not right about this guy, something not right about this situation, I don't know what it is yet, let me look around, let me take a second. When you sense that, please pay attention. It's oddities from the baseline. A heavy coat on a hot day. That's an oddity. That shouldn't happen. But if it does, okay, cool, you're weird, but are you armed? That's what you want to know. Next is condition red, and that is when it's time to act. It's the imminent threat is here and now, it's right in front of you, and it is time to either run, hide, or fight. It is the highest chance of survival, the lowest chance of shock-induced PTSD. Again, PTSD can happen from the event, but it just won't happen because you're not aware. Okay, again, it perished to thought that real estate agents would ever be in an armed conflict because we're the nicest people on the planet, yet real estate professionals experience a situation that made them fear for their safety. Does that statistic surprise you? Almost 40% have said yes. And it even increases more and more between the sexes, males versus females, and more when there's more people around, meaning in the rural and metro areas and suburban areas, more than the rural areas. Probably doesn't surprise you. The statistic on that is that PTSD is caused by man-made events versus natural. I'll give you an example. You're in your house. You're asleep at night with your kids, your family. A tornado comes, wipes out your house, injures your family. You're all in the hospital, but you're alive. That's scenario one. Scenario two, you're in your house with your kids. You're asleep at night, and a group of armed robbers come in. They attack you, beat up your family, set your house on fire, burn it to the ground. You're all injured in the hospital, but you're alive. What's the difference? The difference is one is an act of nature, the other is an act of man. The act of man is what causes the PTSD. We as humans are programmed that when we feel aggression from another person, we take it personally. It hurts. You know the mafia movies? It's not personal. It's just business. Right. It's not personal to you, buddy, but it sure is personal to me. It's very personal. Now, again, if it's a natural disaster, that's not personal. The PTSD doesn't happen. But if it's a person, if it's human-induced aggression, that is the ultimate human phobia. And again, that's what we're here to avoid. Okay, how many of you? Okay, I asked this question already. You know what a violent criminal looks like, right? We all do. That's it. You guys knew that, right? You knew that already. Wow. That is what a violent criminal actually looks like. And you can see that already. Look at him. Look at his shifty eyes. Staring off into space. He looks like an artist, doesn't he? Like he's a musician or a poet or something. You know, his hair the way it is. Like, he's planning his next attack. I just know it. How about this guy? Look at his eyes. You can tell. You can see his wrinkly shirt. Living in his mom's basement. You know he's trouble. You just don't let the smile fool you. He's trouble. Dude. What? Seriously? You can tell this guy is like picnic table shirt. He's got. Look at his eyes. Look at how intense his eyes are. You can. He's cray cray. You can tell. Okay, how many of you know these individuals? No? Me neither. I just pulled them off Google. I have no idea who they are. They're just normal guys. That's what I'm saying. I'm joking about everything I said about them. They're just normal guys. However, that is what criminals look like. They look just like you and I. They don't have signs on their head. They don't have flashing lights. I mean, they can have giveaways, yes, but they're just normal-looking people. Let me give you an example. How many of you know these people?
Just gonna say that.
Anyone? How many of you know the guy in the suit and tie? Exactly. The woman? Exactly.
Who is it?
Eileen Warros. She murdered 7 people. Well, we'll talk about that. She's a waitress at Denny's.
Who's that other guy?
So this is the first guy. You guys got it right. Ted Bundy, a serial killer who lured women into his lair by being very charming, very polite. He was handsome. He often feigned injury or helplessness, needing help, and he played on what? Human sympathy, right? Especially women, because women are what? Women are nurturers. By nature, you're nurturers. You can deny it all you want, and a lot of you are, in your workday world, you got your game face on, you're all about getting the business done. I totally acknowledge that. Yet, if he can get you to, well, actually, if you're all about that, he probably wouldn't go after you anyway, because he's looking for the nurturers. He's looking for the easy prey. At least, well, I won't go into the details of what he did. He was pretty gory. It was disgusting. But he was a predator, to say the least. Eileen Warros, the monster. She was homeless, she, in her description of it, if you could YouTube if you'd like, she was hooking and homeless, and she was tired of the Johns and the way she was being abused. Well, okay, that makes sense, but she just flipped a switch and offed one, and then it became a series. She murdered 7 guys, and she paid the ultimate price for it. But she looks pretty normal in that picture, right? Pretty normal. You can't tell by looking. And this guy was a college student. He was charged for the robbery and murder of Jessica Brisbane in 2009. Okay, so those are just normal out there. Now I'm going to switch to realtor situation. These are real case studies. Ashley Ilton, a 27-year-old real estate agent from Iowa, was shot and killed while holding an open house open in a townhome community. People around heard the gunshot wounds, but they were too late. They went in, she was wounded, she died from 2 gunshot wounds. Her gunman was never found. The case has gone cold. I can't imagine what her family's going through. That's just, and why, again, why would someone kill a real estate agent? I don't think it's because they're a real estate agent. I just think because the opportunity was there. This is a person who is just concluded, who has a determination to do violence, and they're just looking for a victim. They're just looking for someone. As a real estate agent, we are in the public square. We're at open houses, we're at showings, we're doing all kinds of community events. We're just out there. So the objective while you're being out there is not to be out there, but to be aware, right? So that things like this don't happen. Our killer was never found. Janice Tisdale was meeting a man and his banker in a remote suburban community. She felt something was wrong when he showed up alone. Remember, they'll change the deal on you. I'm supposed to show up with my banker. Oh, we're supposed to meet here. We're supposed to they'll change it last minute. Let that be a red flag. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean don't be flexible. That doesn't mean you don't allow for emergencies or life to happen. Just have a backup plan. My suggestion, if he or their client switches the deal on you, switch it on them. Hey, you know what? I'd love to meet you there. That's not going to work. Why don't we do here? And listen to how they respond. If they have a plan, their plan is to attack you at that secondary location. If you switch it up on them because for whatever reason that just doesn't work, now you're going to see how they respond. If they go along with it, your chances are you're probably okay. If they don't, you're in trouble. They've got a plan. They've got an agenda. Bring someone with you, and we'll talk about that. She was knocked on the head, held for a ransom of $4,000. Thankfully, she was able to escape to a passing car, and she survived. That's the happy guy who abducted her, or tried to, attacked her. Beverly Carter, how many of you are you familiar with this situation? This is heartbreaking to me. A side note, when I heard this story, I cried, and I don't know why. I did not know her. But she was the inspiration for me becoming a firearms instructor. I started doing Krav Maga self-defense many years before that, but this really hit me, really impacted me. In fact, her son Carl kind of picked up the flag of her cause and has championed it. I've been friends with him on Facebook for many years. Fantastic guy. On September 25th, 2014, Beverly Carter received a call from Aaron Lewis to show a home near her office. She called her husband when the meeting was set and said, "Hey, honey, got to do a late night showing, be home around 6:30, I'll pick up tacos on the way." She was bound with duct tape and suffocated. And she was buried in a shallow grave not far from the home she was trying to show. When they found her, this is what blew my mind. When they caught Aaron Lewis, the bad guy, they asked him, why? Why did you do it? Like, did she blow an escrow for you? Did you not get the house you wanted? Did you have to take less money? She blow the request for repairs? Did you know her at all? He didn't know her at all. He said she was beautiful, she was successful, and she worked alone. The worked alone part is what I want you to focus on. He picked her up. It's divide and conquer. You see that in nature. Lions, tigers, they'll go after the weakest link in a herd because they're easiest to pick off. It's divide and conquer. He said, we thought we could extort money from her, and when that went south, we felt we had to kill her. I mean, really? Don't try to make sense of it because it makes no sense. Again, these are people who have decided that violence is a foregone conclusion. Thankfully, it's a very small portion of the population, and I pray that you never meet them. However, they're out there. Your job, my job, is to determine if they're that 1% or 2% and get away as quickly as you can. That is Aaron Lewis, her killer, who thankfully is now behind bars. Okay, lessons to be learned from Beverly Carter. Number one, she didn't meet Lewis at her office or Zoom to qualify him. How many of you use Zoom for pre-listing or listing appointments? Anyone use Zoom? I highly recommend you do. If you meet him at your office, great. However, Zoom can save you a lot of time, and it can get you what you need to know by having your spidey senses checking into their answers, to what they say, how they say it, etc., etc. Whether you Zoom or not, up to you, but at least meet with them in a public place at your office before you go show property. She didn't get a copy of his ID, proof of funds, or pre-call letter, and now the BBA. This is the one piece that I feel is a bright spot in the new Car-NAR, post-NAR lawsuit. We have to get a BBA signed. That is a built-in excuse for you to meet with your clients. You have to. If you're going to follow the law, whether you do or not, that's up to you. You can deal with the consequences. However, the fact that you have to meet your clients to get a BBA signed. Look, I can't show you this property until we get this signed. Oh, can you DocuSign it over me? Sure. Let's get on a Zoom call and talk about it. Or let's meet in your office because I really want to find out more about you. You know, the paperwork's pretty easy and the house is pretty easy. I really want to know what's important to you. Let's meet at my office. Let's meet at my office right before then. My computer's down. My internet sucks where I'm at. Yeah, I can't really email it to you. But I've got a hard copy. Let's meet at my office and we can get it signed and then we can go over there. Make sense? You want to do that and use the BBA as an excuse to get their pre-qual, their ID, their proof of funds before you go meet them. It is a safety for you. She didn't have a friend come with her to the showing. She just called her husband and said, I'm going. And she did. So she met a guy there by herself. Highly recommend you don't do that. Bless you. She didn't have a specific call-in time with a buddy. Ladies, if you're doing that, if you're not taking someone with you, have someone call you, whether it's an office mate, your manager, your husband, wife, friend, whoever, someone call you. Have your phone go off and make it sound like a ring. Oh, I gotta take this. Oh my gosh, it's an emergency, I gotta go. Use an excuse, whatever you need to do. Have someone call in, ideally someone calling in as opposed to an alarm, because it's an actual someone who could call 911. No self-defense training or weapons training. She didn't have that, and I highly recommend that you do. We're gonna cover that a little bit today if we have time. However, it's the most important thing is to know what to do in case everything goes south. As I mentioned, she was my personal inspiration for becoming a firearms instructor. Another thing that I'd recommend, we're going to talk about that, is having a password. How many of you have passwords? Sweet. So if someone does call, whether it's your husband, wife, whoever, you have a favorite password. And you, Val, what's your password? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. You shouldn't say that out loud. Just want to see if you'd fall for it.
I wasn't going to give you a word. I was just going to tell you that it was something that was in my kids' password since they were 3.
Great. Awesome. So great, something innocuous and something you might not even think about. Pineapple. It's one of my favorites, right? Pineapple. Yeah, I love pineapple. It's my favorite. Yes, pick me up a pineapple Slurpee. When you hear that, you know something's gone wrong. Now the bad guy won't know because he won't know that's your password. However, you know and the person that's calling will know. So highly recommend it. Okay, predators. What do they look like? They are often well dressed. They often drive nice cars. They are well spoken and educated. This is all Ted Bundy. They often are friendly, respectable, and willing to help. April, let me help you with that. Oh my gosh, you got a baby? Oh, let me help you. You pick up you got groceries? We can't let you sit out here in the hot sun. And they'll pick up your groceries and start carrying them into the house. Do not let them do that. They're not only helpful, but aggressive with their help. Respectfully set your boundaries. Say, no, I'm good. I got help. Thank you. And don't move. Stay there. If they want to steal your groceries, let them. It's not worth it. They'll use distraction or feign helplessness to gain your trust. How many of you have ever seen that? Where it's a diversion. Again, going back to Sun Tzu's The Art of War. All war is deception. If I'm trying to hurt you, I'm going to deceive you to make you think I'm a friend. They'll try to get you alone before attacking. If anyone ever tries to, another good one that I didn't put on here. If you're walking from your car out to a parking lot, if it's late at night, get someone to go with you. If it's not well lit, have a big old flashlight. Make it lit, make you not alone, and don't approach your car if there's another car parked too close, especially a van. Okay?
Can I add something to that?
Please.
I always tell my daughter, and when you're walking into a establishment or whatever, always park your car so you can see your door, the side of the door. You have a beeline. Like if you park the other way, you have to walk around your car and somebody will be sticking low to the ground.
Right.
Well, look at the way you park to the door of the establishment so you can see your door.
Does that make sense? What she's saying?
And always look in the back seat.
Yes, look, absolutely. So along with that, just march around your car. Just make sure everything's okay.
Look under your car. So as you're walking to your car, look under because they can wait underneath it. And when you open your door and you get in, they'll slice your Achilles and then you can't run.
Oh,
Wow.
I learned that in
That's-
college. I took a health and safety quarter.
That's some serious ninja stuff. So they hide under your car, and then when you're there, they slice your, wow.
Yeah, so when you're almost in your car and you have your last foot out, they slice your Achilles and you can't run. I took a safety course in college and they taught us that. I literally looked under my car.
Note to self. I have more to add to my slides.
So one of the things that I've always done is I will either pretend I'm talking to my husband or do a FaceTime with him when I'm walking in my car. So he's with me and I'm kind of panning the thing and talking to him at the same time. So whoever that might be watching me is also seeing that I'm on FaceTime, even if I'm faking it. And that seems to give me a little more confidence, whether it works or not.
Very good. Man, I'm learning from you guys. So we're gonna transition now to showings, open houses and showings. Before I do that, take a look at this. Whoops.
This is Marley.
This is David. I'm at one of your listings at 1911 Main Street. This is my situation. I'm in town today for work. I would really like to get in this house. Is that going to be possible?
So I'll meet you there in about an hour and a half. Okay?
Okay, I'll be waiting for you. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is the third contract today. This is fantastic.
Okay, how many of you know that that's a real possibility? That really happens. How many of you have actually ever gone to a home like that and thought, gosh, maybe this could happen? Hopefully none of you have ever experienced that, right? Okay, good. That's a real thing that happens constantly because breaking and entering, by the way, doesn't happen just with perps. How many of you had any squatters? How many of you know that squatters can do that as well? In fact, squatters do. They're very aggressive, they're very unpredictable, and they can be very violent. So in the quest to have free lodging and free whatever, they can be very violent if they think they can get away with it. So my humble opinion, don't go there alone, get everything open, and don't do what she did. Did you hear what she did? Oh my God, it's my third contract. This is gonna be awesome, I'm so excited. She had what we call commission breath. She was so excited about the sales, she didn't even think about her own safety. So that's what we wanna avoid. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to be a SWAT agent, which is showing with awareness and tactics. Some of this we've already covered regarding vetting a new client, but I love how many of you remember the great communicator, Ronald Reagan, when he said, trust but verify. We want to be trusting of everyone. However, we need to verify everything, right? That's why we get ID, POF, proof of funds, pre-qual letter, BVA signed. Meet them at your office or Zoom. Use technology, Google, YouTube. If you're not Googling or YouTubing clients, I would highly recommend that you do. There's if someone was on a predator watch list, would you not want to know before you meet with them? There's resources that you can use that just to be safe. You know, if you want to check their social media, you can do that too. ID, proof of funds, we talked about that. When you ask questions, this is the best part. When you ask questions, women, I think you guys are already really, really good at this. When you ask questions, you're not just looking for the information, you're looking for how they respond to your question. Their body language, their eye movement will tell you so much, which is why I love doing these meetings in person or FaceTime or Zoom, because you can't read their body language over the phone. Does that make sense? The 738-55 rule, you guys know what that is, right? Okay. 7% of the information that you get in a conversation is the words alone. Just the words, which is why text and email are so ineffective, because 93% of their real meaning is lost. You don't get that in a text or an email. You only get that, 38% is how they sound when they say what they say, right? Their voice inflection, their pace. Are they in a hurry? Do they sound irritated? Do they sound pissed off? Do they sound like they're impatient, or that they love you and they'll do whatever you want? You can get hints of that on the phone. But 55% of it, you're missing if you're not seeing them, and that is their body language, their facial expression, how they look when they say what they say. Which is why I love Zoom or in-person communication, because you can see that. Best is in-person, next is Zoom or FaceTime, next would be audio phone call, least effective is text or email. Does that make sense? So, when you're asking questions, you're looking for their body language. Always trust your gut, we talked about that. Spidey senses, I cannot say enough good things about that. Bring someone with you, have a check-in time. When in doubt, end the meeting and get out. The Nike defense is a time-honored defense. It means you're leaving. Where are you meeting? Have you been there before? Have they? In the video you saw that. They were already there. They were waiting for you. That's what we call an ambush. JJ's favorite thing. Why are you meeting there instead of a public place? Did you set that, or did they? Or did they say, hey look, I'm resting, call you in last minute and change the plan? Oh, I can't meet at your office, I gotta get to the airport. Can I just meet you at the property? Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not gonna work. Just make an excuse and hold to it. Don't go. And if it costs you the sale, it costs you the sale. At least it didn't cost you something more valuable. Better to not have a sale than to not be around to tell the tale. Oh, that was pretty good. Thank you. I have to put that in my thing too. Did you record that? Okay, SMS, showing property smartly. Get details from the listing agent. How many of you guys do that? I'm sure you do already. If you're going to show a property, you call the agent first and set it up. Get anything that you need to know. Do doors all lock? Where's the lockbox? Is it Supra or is it contractor's lockbox? Where is it? It's important to know that, so you're not hunting around the house for 10 minutes looking for the lockbox that, they forgot to put out there. Okay? Examine the exterior for signs of the unordinary. Check the lockbox and doors for forced entry. Okay, you saw that he's checking went through the window. Though you won't always see it, but you can. And if you do, call the listing agent right away. Don't go in. Hey, did you know that there's a broken glass here on the side? Oh no, I didn't know that. That's not supposed to be there. That's a sign. Call the listing agent. Now, hey, can you send someone over here? Or just, you know what, I think I better call an audible and not go in, right? Chances are, the listing agent didn't know it, and you now know it, and you need to act on it. Photos, fingerprints, an escape plan. So when you go into the house for the showing, I recommend that you leave the front door open and open another door immediately. Whether it's a side door, the garage door, the sliding glass door, have another exit. The time to look for that is before you need it. Planning ahead is what the best scenario, right? We talked about at the beginning. The worst scenario is an ambush. The best one is one that you plan for. And who better to plan for it than you, right? Are you with me? Okay. Janine, you have a question?
I just wanted to know, I had someone tell me when you go into the house, lock the door behind you because you don't want someone to follow you in.
What if they're on you?
I know, I'm like, well, I don't know what to do now.
I'm so confused. So that's a great, that's actually good. My only hesitation of that is that you don't know what's inside.
Yeah.
That's the hesitation. We call it, in the tax world, we call it the fatal funnel, the place where you don't want to be, and you want to minimize the time to do that. So that's why I recommend taking someone with you, going during daylight hours, trying to minimize the time because that's a real concern, Jenny, you bring up a really good point. If you open the door and lock it, now that's fine, no one else can get in, but now you can't get out, and you don't know what's already there. So if you can go in there or have someone clear it. When I'm on a showing, when I take clients with me, I do this all the time, especially when it's just the woman and her kids. I'll say, you guys stay out here, let me clear the house. And I go in by myself and I clear the house. And then I make sure it's okay for them to come in. Because if there's something bad in there, I want to know it because I can deal with it. I do not want my client and her kids having to deal with that. They can get away, they can call 911. I'm the one dealing with the crisis. Make sense? So, I guess that would be dealer's choice, however you want to handle that, Janine. I see the wisdom of not locking locking the door, yet I would also say get another door open as soon as you can, and then maybe go, well, you can leave the front door locked and then open the other exits. That might be a good compromise, because that will keep someone from following you in, but you want to get the other exits open. That way, if there is someone, you have alternate routes to get out. David?
I was going to say that, and I would say that it's probably more likely for someone to follow you in to break into the house.
Could you repeat it?
I didn't
Couldn't hear it.
It's probably more likely to have someone follow you in than if someone were to break in.
And be there
If you
already.
had to play the odds.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So an option might be to get inside, lock the door, immediately go get to the other exit, open the garage, open the slider, open something, so at least you have an alternate exit. Then proceed with your showing. Someone else had a hand raised.
I had an incident yesterday that I went to a house to check it out. It was a vacant house. When I got there, the door wasn't closed. It was like just up against the door
Frame.
So I called the agent right away, and he goes, "Oh, it's vacant, you don't have to worry." And I'm thinking, it's not in a very good part of town. I said, "You stay on the phone, I'm gonna walk inside," but I had him on the phone. I didn't check any closets. I kind of ran through there just to do a quick look, and then I just locked it up, but I was a little nervous to even go in.
That's your spidey senses. That's those kind of things that keep you alive. So we're glad you're still here with us. So when you feel that, don't ignore it. You were smart to get the agent on the phone, and hey, stay on the phone with me, because if there's someone in here you need to know, call 911. Right? No joke. Have that kind of thing. It's also the fear of being discovered, the fear of drawing attention that predators hate. Again, divide and conquer. They want to get you away. They want to get you to a separate place. I didn't finish my thoughts about the van, although you guys already completed the thought. If someone jumps out of a van and starts to grab you, they want to take you to an alternate place. They're not there to introduce you to their best friend. They're not taking you to a Bible study or a potluck. They're there to do very, very bad things to you. Fight, like your life depends on it, because it does. Don't ever agree. If they want to take your money, your wallet, your keys, your cell phone, cool, you can have it. You want to take me? Nope. That's not going to happen. Fight like you're the third monkey on Noah's Ark. And it's starting to rain. We're going to talk about that more in a second. These are all excuses of plus one rules. Someone's always on the way, a partner in the car. You've got another showing scheduled. You've got a limited amount of time. Have someone call you, are you okay? Again, using pineapple or anniversary or whatever your code word is. Your showing partner. This is really important. If you are in a situation where you need help, you need to be able to get to them immediately. There's some apps that you can use that you can press a button. Apple has one, Android has one. I have some at the end of here, but technology is changing so fast. I encourage you guys to look at that up on your own, to have an app or something that could signal an emergency if you need it, that checks on you throughout the day and knows where you are. Okay, so now we're going to talk about open houses. How many of you do open houses? Yes? Okay, a few of you do. Even if you don't do open houses, you show property, or you go to property for inspections, or to do your Avid. This is a video that is going to talk about what can happen at an open house. How many of you guys have seen this video? Sounds not up.
State agent to the ground, allegedly groping her, then running away. The agent, who asked us to hide her identity, says the suspect got agitated when she wouldn't go inside with him.
So you saw the house, you're done, that's it.
She also says she'd seen the man here a week earlier and that he made her nervous. So on Sunday, she had a friend come with her, but that friend left just before this attack.
I was so lucky. I had a feeling from day one that this person gonna hurt me.
A security camera captured the man's face. Now the cops want to capture him. The realtor suffered scrapes and bruises. That suspect is still out there, and detectives say they need the public's help to find him. David?
All right, Clayton Sendell, thanks. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos. I have event coverage, news app for breaking news alerts.
Thank you, George. Okay, first of all, what kind of friend leaves you stranded when a predator's there? Like, what good does it do? That's the worst thing.
Hi, this is Senator Bernie Sanders.
Okay, thank you.
There is clearly not.
Okay, I need to wrap up here because we need to get the other speaker, but I want to cover a few things really quick. When you're at an open house, make sure you get there early. The same kind of protocols that we just covered. Make sure you have exits. Stay in the public area. You heard her say her spidey senses went off. So where did she go? Outside. Don't be afraid to do that. Remove yourself from the situation. Remove yourself from the danger. Let them come to you. Go ahead, see the house, see the bathroom, see all that stuff. We can come out here and talk, okay? And when you're doing that, call someone else. Get someone else there to help you. The liability on open houses, I'm not going to go over that. You can decide with your broker if you're liable for what's stolen, what's not. However, if possible, have the motion sensor cameras going, because that will save your butt. And if you need to turn your cell phone on record and just let it record what's going on, that's not a bad option either. When violence is the answer, when all else fails, again, nothing guarantees success. There's no guarantee that things are going to all go right. If you have to drop back and punt and you are in a situation where you have to fight for your life, fight for your life. Speed, surprise, and violence of action, just like when you feel that he's going to ambush you, you can ambush him. You can start the violence before it happens. Okay, now, you might want to consider the ramifications of that, because if you attack somebody, then you can do that. But I would recommend not doing that, because that's not a good way to get business or to avoid. I told you to sign in. Dang it. Again, when someone has done violence to you, you need to act. There's no replacing violence when violence is the answer. Do whatever it takes. Again, fight like you're the third monkey on Noah's Ark, and then get out. The Nike defense, as I said, is a time-honored tradition. So whether you're going to arm yourself or not is up to you. Whether you carry a knife, a gun, a pepper spray, anything like that, Lori's going to come up here and talk about that in just a second. That is up to you. However, even if you don't have that, This is a major point. There are improvised weapons all around. How many of you guys saw the Bourne Supremacy? Bourne Identity. Jason Bourne goes crazy with a pen. You see that in one of the fight scenes? It's awesome. You've got it right there. If I'm at an open house, I'm standing next to the counter, and my sign-in sheet's right here. What's next to me? A pen, right. Probably my car keys. A cell phone. Those are all improvised weapons. You can read along. Pots, pans, kitchen knives, a baseball bat, a fire extinguisher. Anything that's blunt or that's a hard object, it'll hurt, okay? If you've got rings on, anything that you can carry that will hurt someone, use it. These are just several options. So finally, if you're ever in that situation, I pray that you're not. I pray that you have the right mindset, because the right mindset will keep you alive when all else fails. So I'm going to bring up, Val, do you want to come up now and bring up Lori? I'll bring up Lori. Lori, come on up here if you don't mind. Val, did you have a question?
I just want to say on our super key, if you have it enabled, there's an alert button that you can actually use on your super key.
It does the things that you were talking about, like it'll call you back. I took a whole class on that. I was going to mention that too.
Yes.
The alert on the email.
Neat.
You just have to have it enabled and set it up.
I thought I checked out all the apps, and we have one right built into our super key.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. Guys, thank you very much for your time. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to introduce Lori. She is going to talk to you about all the weapons that you need to survive.
If you want to stand that, go for it. That was excellent. You took everything I was going to say. What do I say now? I don't know. Let me just get set up real quick. Thanks. And, sorry, I don't want to have a messy table, but it's going to be. Okay, clicker. Green is go. Let's see if I got this down. Okay, so I'm going to breeze through a lot of this. And by the way, my name's Lori Osmond, not Osborne. And it's okay, Val. And I have been a safety educator for almost 11 years. I'm very passionate about what I do, just like Tom. Man, that was good. I love that presentation. Yes, excellent. And take self-defense. I think it would be awesome to set up a class where you guys actually do self-defense moves and all that. Stats are ugly. You're at 40% higher risk on the job, which he pretty much covered. 1 in 5 women are survivors of rape. 1 in 3 experience domestic violence. Okay, we're here to change that, to help you be equipped, empowered, and educated. Okay, Rob, my phone? I have it on Do Not Disturb. Why is it disturbing me? I don't know. But yourself before sale always. So I'm going to breeze through this because he covered a ton of it. You guys are at a risky job site. Bad guys want privacy and control. All right, they don't want you in this parking lot. They want to take you to what he called a different location, which we call crime scene 2. I did search and rescue for years. I'm a retired teacher too. But I did search and rescue for years, and we searched for people we never found. Okay, sometimes you don't get found. Christy Wilson was found, 12 years later, 14 years later? We searched for her just to help that family get closure, never got it until after that. I think I turned it off. Nope, after that guy died. But being prepared, not scared is my motto. How many of you wore your seatbelts on the way here today? Okay, why? Rindy, tell me.
For safety, and it's the law.
For safety, and it's the law. I hate the law part, but it's for safety, right? We do it out of habit. We do it just in case. We don't think we're getting in a wreck that day. How many of you have your cell phones here? Yep, so those are 2 habits that we all have. How many of you have something on yourself right now for protection? Awesome, okay? That's what we want to improve. We want everyone to have protection. We want, if you carry a knife, you better be trained with that knife. If you have a gun, obviously you better be trained with that too. And I have some non-lethal things up here too. I love the lethal things too. We do have concealed carry purses. I did not bring any except for my own, which, I usually carry on my body if I'm carrying. But just, make it a habit to carry your protection. 3 most common places to be assaulted are parking lots, day or night, stairwells, and public bathrooms. Obviously, you guys are at crime scene 2, where that guy has that privacy and control.
That's what we don't want to give them. All right? And some guys want you on that phone so they can see and hear what they're doing to you, because they're not going to get to you in time. And I do have some things that are alarms and like a GPS tracker. So I'm going to show you that too. I'm going to skip through this. There's the stats. We've kind of covered that. Has everyone in here felt that hair go up on the back of your neck? Raise your hand if you've been there. Yep. And The Gift of Fear, if you haven't read it, is a phenomenal book. It talks about all that. And then this is what we're going to cover, but like he already covered it. Situational awareness. Pay attention. Know where your exits are wherever you go, all the time. Don't be paranoid. Be prepared, not scared. And this is just your thinking everything's normal, right? That's the reticular activating system. You just think everything's normal. Listen to your gut. Like when you went, who's the lady that went into the house yesterday? She felt it. She knew it. So remember, you can always back out. All right? I recommend never parking in the driveway. You've probably had all those kind of training. Never park in the driveway, they can block you in. Never fear running out that door. Okay? I've trained with a guy named Conrad Woodall for the last almost 11 years. He's got a master's in forensic psychology. All right? So he says once a woman hits 30, she's got that bitch factor down. But before that, she might not be able to say, hey, back the fuck away from me, okay? It's okay to use that language. That's their language, all right? Don't go, leave me alone. These two guys are getting in a fight. They're not going to go bump their chest and go, get away, right? They're going to go, fuck off, bud, right? They're going to say what they have to say. So don't hesitate on appearing not nice. It's okay. All right? We don't care what they call us. And then the normalcy bias is just think it's not going to happen to you. You're in that white zone, which is coming up, and focus lock. She thinks she's safer having those earbuds in. Bad guys look for that. 1 in 12 women are stalked. They look for ponytails. They're easy to grab. They look for that same route every day, and they look for the women texting and walking. They don't look for a woman walking like, hang on, let me get armed.
It's gonna be good. She's gonna have like.
You think they're gonna go for somebody like this? Hey bud, how's your day going? Right? And if you're carrying this is three layers of protection right here, plus your own body with your self-defense moves. I've got a stun gun for distance. I can bat someone away. Reach up the highest. Will you come up?
These are great.
Please. So, didn't he punch you earlier? Payback's up. Ooh, that'd be fun. So the nice thing about this stun gun, and it's not a taser. My son's an officer, and his taser shoots out. It's a big weapon. Okay, this is enough to drop a 230-pound man. I have a good video of it. I should have put that on here. But anyway, so David. What? David? Okay, David. So if I'm going after David, the first thing I'm going to do is first of all, the stance is super important. If I'm standing like this and David gives me a little push, I'm just going to fall. But if I'm like this, it's like, today's not your day, buddy, okay? Now, what I would do with a stun gun is, first of all, 99% of guys with that warning shot are gonna go, hell no. I want that one over there that's looking at her phone, that's not paying attention. I want an easy target because I'm a wimp and I don't want to get hurt. Well, David here, he'd probably back off, right? Because he's a nice guy. But if he didn't, I would actually go for the neck, and I would grab, I can't use this in my, there you go. Hey, look at that! Teamwork! Now,
I don't want to hear this stuff, man.
no, I won't. But I would grab onto him, which would shock him also, and I would push this on and hold it on as long as I can. And it's not going to come through to me, so we're not going to both be going like this. I'd go for under the arm, I'd go for the nutsack, or I'd go for the quads. Okay, large muscle groups. Kind of probably would hurt on the nutsack, huh? Need a little bit?
Need a demo.
No, that's at Oregon. Not a muscle group. They say go for the large muscle groups. But anyway, check this out. but, so see how I've got my flashlight? I've got my awareness, all right? My stun gun is armed. Hang on, don't leave. But if he gets it from me, go ahead and pull it. He can't turn and use it on me because the pin has to be in it to make it work. So that mommy that was over here with the baby, no babies, kids can use it because it has to have the pin in it. But if he did get it from me, I've got some other tricks up my sleeve. If I came up like this, I'd make it so he would not reproduce. He's a nice guy, so we don't want to do that to him. But the other guys, you can turn it off. Just slide that thing down. The other guys, we want to make it so that we don't get more of those guys. So if I did like feel that, how's that feel? Yeah, sternal rub. I could take this, direct him. This is a Kubaton. It's a martial arts weapon that I know Tom knows a lot about. But this is something that we can use up close. And it's attached to my little armband here. Okay, I've also got my pepper spray. So I've got two things from a distance, well, three. I got my voice back away from me. I've got my stun gun, and I've got my pepper spray. I could reach Rindy from here, probably 16 feet. All right, so all of our pepper sprays have a UV dye that stays on the body for up to a week.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Thank you. And, yeah, give that guy a hand. And you're gonna watch out, the women might go after you because you're very handsome. Anyway, the UV dye stays on the body for up 6 to 8 days, so if they're able to get away, a cop can put a black light on them and they are busted. So pay attention, get off your freaking phones, lock your doors when you get in it. When you're at the gas station, lock your doors. If you drive up somewhere and you feel unsafe, get the hell out of there. Okay, drive away. You don't have to get gas at that place. All right, like Tom said, get out of the parking lot. Don't sit there and check, your phones and all that. And look what you guys do. Hey man, I'm gonna have treats. I'm gonna be by myself all day at this event. Come see me, okay? Do this in pairs. Just be smart. Do it in pairs.
Included area.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. Yep, so, and then this, have you guys heard of the OODA loop? The OODA loop. It was designed for the United States fighter pilots. The pilot that could do this twice the quickest would win every fight. So he observed, he oriented, he decided, and he acted. Bad guys have one plan, but no backup plan. I want you to have plan A, plan B, plan C. Anything you do to disrupt that guy's plan or that woman could be a crazy chick. They're out there too, right? Watch out. But have a plan and a backup plan, right? I know Rindy is because she had an incident on the highway and now she knows much better, okay? Getting educated, yeah, she's got her stun gun right there. So observe, orient, decide, and act is paying attention and having a plan. You will win the fight. Have the courage to fight. Okay, if you try to manipulate your way out of a sexual assault, you have 4% chance of not being assaulted. If you fight, you have 55 to 86% chance of not being assaulted. If you have a weapon, it goes down even lower.
Scream.
Huh? You'd scream?
That woman in the video did.
Yeah. And I would have been doing something different than screaming. So I want you to have a plan, and I want you to think about things. Think about if they came in that living room sliding glass door. All right, think about all the different places people can come in, but be prepared. Sold, observe, I just went over that. There's the Cooper's colors. That's what Tom covered.
You didn't cover black.
Black is, if you were in the white zone, the Pollyanna, it's not gonna happen to me. You're gonna go straight into black and you're gonna freeze. Not a good zone to be in, right, Tom? Not at all. Be prepared, not scared. If you want any of these things, you can let me know. So yeah, I just went over that. Look, he already covered this. So I was going, damn, he's good, I love it.
But Lori, this PDF would be really great for those who register for this class.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to read it again and share it.
Yes, and I do private things. At your home, I do wine and weapon parties. Mm-hmm. Those are fun, especially when the guys show up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do college girl safeties. I'll go over that stuff later, but I do stuff all over. I'm kind of nuts about what I do, right, Rindy? Rindy was doing some safety stuff, and it was super fun because those people want to be educated, they want to be prepared, and they want to be armed. Okay, and there's a time and a place for a firearm. I love my firearms; they're fantastic, but it's not always the time and place to use them. And when we do use them, when you have your CCW, you are trained to carry multiple lines of protection. You don't just pull out your gun. My son's an officer in SAC. He doesn't pull out his gun for everything. Okay? So when you see the helicopter flying over, that's my boy. Yeah, that's Chase. So level the playing field. Have your situational awareness. Fire off that warning shot if you want. 99% of the guys are going to go, like I said, no thank you. That 1% may get more turned on. Well, you got other things for him too. So just have layers of protection. Okay, and take self-defense. It's fantastic. I love it. The Shield technology, we have 3 different items with this. It's connected to a Bluetooth. It's connected to an app on your phone. Shield Community by Damsel in Defense is our app. You can get that for free. Put it on your phone. You can upload 5, add 5 of your closest contacts that you want to know that you need help if you send them that alert. So that bottom one, the black one on the bottom, is a silent alarm. The one on the top is a silent and a loud alarm. So if you have this on your key ring, you can put your keys on here too. Here's the silent alarm. Here's a loud one to draw attention. That shows that Bluetooth just went to 5 people. It's not set up for it right now, where my 5 contacts would be calling me. But it will send them your exact location and where you're going, and you can set it for 1 to 5 minutes. And it will not stop till you go into the app on your phone and say, I'm safe now, and put your PIN code in. So no one can do that for you. For realtors, you guys, oh my gosh, and college girls, anybody going out on a date with somebody they don't know, they haven't talked to, or they've just texted or whatever on those apps, beware. You guys too, watch out for them girls, they're crazy. So there's a little silent button right there, and then there's a loud button. So we want to make noise. We're not going to be quiet, okay? And statistics say you're not coming home if you go to crime scene 2. So we don't go. We don't go. We fight in the parking lot. We do whatever the hell we have to do to not go to crime scene 2. The little ringers, that stun gun I just showed you, this is the set I just showed you with a different armband. We have all different kinds of things. These are great for everyone. I'm meeting a guy who's I'm meeting him in a public place. He's actually a guy that my father-in-law works with through his church, and he's 6'6". I'm meeting him today on the way home because he wants a stun gun. And he's kind of a shy guy, but you would think like that first guy that Tom showed, that big guy, you wouldn't think someone like that would get attacked, but this guy is very passive, and so he needs to get empowered and have some safety. I've had a lot of men get products from me too. So men, it's all good. And as we age, we don't run as fast as we used to. We may not be as strong as we used to. I highly recommend staying fit and getting out and getting your exercise. Okay, stay healthy. Share your location. This has already been covered. You can have a plan with your office. Like if I call up and go, hey, Rindy, the blue file's the code word. Do you have a blue file? Do you have that blue file I was looking for? You'll know instantly that I'm uncomfortable. But first of all, I'm not going to stay in the house. If I'm showing a house, I'm not a realtor. So anyway, have a plan with your office and your people, with the head lady in the front or whoever's working the front to call and say that. Or better yet, have one of those GPS Bluetooth trackers. Those are great. So know the location. Oh yeah, there it says right there, the Shield. Vacant properties we've already talked about. Trust your gut. When the door's open, don't go in. You can call 911 anytime. You can have the cops there and check it out. They would rather that than come find you in a different state. Check to make sure you have cell service. And she's oblivious. She's on her phone. Stay off your phones. They look for that. They look for that easy target. We already went over this, so I'm going to skip through it. Yeah, always let the client go in first. That's what I would do. I would not turn my back to a client. If you're uncomfortable, tell them to go upstairs and check it out. You'll be down here. You can go outside. You can leave anytime. That house can be replaced. You can't. All right, so trust your gut, but you don't have to go up into that upstairs bedroom with that guy. No thanks. And when you go into a house, if you have that kit, like you've got the stun gun and all that, if you're taking that in with you on your arm, on the armband, and some guy has a problem with it, then I have a problem with that guy. Because you're there to keep your clients safe too. So if somebody, has an issue with you carrying a weapon, a Kubaton or whatever, forget it. That's not a good person. We've already gone over scan the area. And then if you want to schedule anything, you can scan that. I put my cards out there. If you want to put your card in that box over there, I might do a raffle. Might have to have more than one card in it. Rindy's card's in it. So if you want to schedule anything with your home, your family, your bunco group, your daughters, your sons, whatever, I'm game to do it. I love what I do. I live up in Colfax, and I do have a couple other things. Hold on, I forgot one thing. Because Tom said carry a bright flashlight. So I was part of the Colfax River Fire, and when I moved home a month later, everything burned but my home, my barn with 43 years of horse tack. That's what killed me. But I was so lucky because my horses were fine and my barn is fine. But when I moved home at the end, up past Colfax High School, if you guys have been out there, it's pretty dark. 3 years ago, September 4th, we moved home. There was one light across the mountain in Chicago Park, because that whole canyon burned down to the river and up the other side. For 8 months, I'd wondered who'd lived there. Finally met somebody I thought did. I went out there, had her phone number, called her, and shined this flashlight. Wow. And I have a dimmer and an SOS light. And she saw it from 1.3 miles across that canyon because it was pitch black. Okay, so Rindy, do you have one of these? I can't believe it.
I have one.
You do?
And I have a gun safe next to my bed.
Yes.
Because it's magnet. You didn't mention that.
I'm not
it's
done.
Literally right there, so I can just
sing.
Yeah,
so it's magnetic, so you can see. So this is actually meant for your car, but I actually use this in the home. And Val, I'll shine it on you tonight. You'll see me. Okay, yeah, because she's a ways away from me, but she'd still see it. So this is a car safety. This has the end here is a spring-loaded point to shatter your car window. This will help you if you get into water or a rollover accident. There's a razor blade right here to cut your seatbelt. It also has a strobe light, so you can stick it on top of your car. I had a flat in my truck. AAA was coming. It was dark. I was at the Rayleigh's parking lot. The guy goes, "Where are you?" And I go, "Right there." And then when he showed up, the idiot, he didn't have a flashlight. So I'm standing there going, "Okay, bud," plus my stun gun. Had both of them there. And he's like, "Can I use your flashlight?" And I go, "You can buy one." No, I'm kidding. And then, so the strobe is awesome, and it also has an alarm to draw attention. These have a lifetime warranty, and so do our stun devices too, which is awesome. And our pepper spray has a replacement warranty too if you use it in the line of self-defense. We also have tactical pens. So this is a really awesome pen. Tom, you should see these. Where'd he go? This pen is freaking awesome. It'll break your car window too, but it'll also break a good head. Okay.
I carry one.
Yeah. Awesome. I love these. We have them in black and silver. They're super cool, and you can check these out. And then when you do spray pepper spray, make sure you do a Z pattern across the face, get to the side and book it. Because if you spray somebody, they're still going to go try to grab you. They're not going to be able to see for about 45 minutes. So if they grab you, not so good. So get to the side and get away. Spray and get away. And then the striking tool, anywhere you hit with that striking tool is going to give you a chance to get away. You want to eliminate the threat. All right? We don't want that guy coming after you. And then there's the picture of the UV dye. So I don't have that on the screen. What else? Any questions? That is called the road trip, and I'm not supposed to sell, so sorry, I'll be at my car after this. I'm your safety dealer. Put me on your speed dial. So, yeah, it's a road trip, and it's like $44 out the door. It's phenomenal. I love that flashlight, and it's rechargeable.
So after the class, you can, anybody who wants to approach you you can sell.
I can outside, and my car is the blue Tesla that I finally got back yesterday. Yeah.
Grab
So.
our cards and reach out to us, and if we give you a card, then.
You betcha. I'll do whatever you want. So, yep. And any questions about anything? I know I forgot something. We also have a junk in the trunk, which is a car safety thing. I did, these are the resources for what Damsel has put together. And also, you guys, just so you know, we have rescued over 1,500 girls from human trafficking. So we're not just about you and me. Thank you. I got to go to Cambodia in March of 19 and work with some of the girls we've rescued. And I know, goosebumps, total body goosebumps. It's incredible what we do. These are some of the trainings that I do. I'm super passionate about college girl safety, probably because of what happened to me in college. Okay, and children's safety. We have a book on gun safety, which, Tom, you gotta see, it's freaking awesome. And a whole bunch of different books on different scenarios for children to learn how to handle those tricky people. Yes?
So in my hometown where I did 10 years of real estate, we did a big class, we did a local CCW with a bunch of agents, and so, I showed a lot of big properties, like ranches, and I felt like that was a big target, because you're out in the middle of nowhere.
You are. Where were you at?
Mendocino County.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's where my daughter-in-law's from. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. The rural places, yeah. You've got to pay attention.
Do you organize those?
CCW classes? So Tom, I have CCW instructors that I refer to. I have certain ones that I really like. But you know what, Tom? Years ago, I was looking for a renewal guy, and this guy said to me, he was in Applegate, and I called him to ask him about his renewal class. And he goes, well, I do them. I go, where do you do them? He goes, at my home, but my wife is always here. Holy shit. I went, nah, bye-bye. It was creepy. Why would he say that? I don't know. So I do have people that are really good, could refer you to.
It would be fun to, if people are into that, to put a class together, a big group.
That would be awesome. Yes, please.
How many are interested in CCW? Okay, awesome. Fantastic. And then, you guys, I want to thank you, because I know realtors, you're a different breed. You truly are. You're out there, you're trying to sell that house, you want to make that sale, but thank you for taking the time to help you be safer in your everyday life, not just selling real estate, but everywhere you go. Congratulations on being here and taking the time and not being on your phone the whole time. You knew I'd come stun you if you did. So I think that's it. Do I have any more? No. All right, thank you.
All right, so we have extra food if you want to take some home for tonight. It is Friday evening, and who wants to cook on a hot night? So anyway, we have some of that, and what you didn't get is the sweet potato fries, because they weren't quite done when you got here. So there's some in the back. How about Tom Costello? Let's give him a round of applause. And then, of course, Lori Osmond. I call her Osborne because I just wrote a contract this morning for a Mary Osborne. I was like, but yes, Lori.
I do want to show you guys just a couple more things. This is my concealed carry purse, and we actually have these for sale. I love them, but in the back here is where you can either put your firearm, and it does come with a Velcro insert that you can put your gun in, or you can have your stun gun back there ready to go. And then, will you hold that? Thanks. And then right here, what I have right here is a breakaway. So I don't want, look at all these backpacks and purses, they're huge. If you get an item from me and you have it in the bottom of there, good luck. Hey mister, can you wait? It ain't gonna happen, okay? You want this accessible so you can break it away and you've got your weapon. Okay, this is 2 layers of protection. So that's what, this could be on your keys too. So there's different ways that you can carry, and you gotta do what's comfortable for you. So you're walking to your car, your keys are on here, even with a fob, but my Tesla's on my phone. But even with a fob, I still carry it. And this is how I walk to my car, and I'm paying attention. When I get out of the gas station, this is in my hand. All right, so be prepared, have quick access to everything that you get. Just like your gun, you're not gonna go, hey wait, I gotta pull my pants up, get my gun out. You wanna have it so you can get it quick, okay? Thanks.
All right, and so not only that, if you leave here with all of the information you got, but more importantly, you walk more confident. Walk more confident. If you're walking towards someone and they make you uncomfortable, cross the street. It's all the things that you've learned, but just walk more confident. Because if they think that you're confident, they are most times gonna pick somebody that's walking like,
Yep. And not giving that eye contact.
yeah, look them straight in the face. Hey. Have you guys seen that commercial recently? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, and a stalker may bump your cart in the grocery store and see how you react. If you shy away, you make a perfect victim. Look him in the eye and go, what the? No, just kidding. What's up, bud? How's your day going? He's gonna go, Even if they're only 5'2", he's not gonna go for it. Okay, Val's gonna draw. This is for a road trip flashlight, just so you know. They're in my car. It's the best flashlight. And remember, it has a lifetime warranty. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Carolyn. Eichenhofer. Well, you're the winner, but we gotta go to the car to get it. Do you trust me?
Don't go.
All right, so don't leave here without either scanning the QR code on your table or filling out the information sheets. We cannot bring classes like this to you unless you let us know that it's something that you're interested in and you want us to bring. We're here almost every Friday for your Lunch and Learn. And anybody else in the education committee, will you please stand up? So we've got the ladies who checked you in. We couldn't do it without Robin. We've got Chan. All right, so we bring these classes to you. We meet once a month. If you're interested in being on the education committee, please talk to Robin about that, and we would love to have you. All right, thanks for coming today. Have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend.